Perfect.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when and where you are watching this. And welcome back to the 3-Star Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Miles, joined by...
How are we doing, guys? It's Sean. I hope you're all doing well. Rich, how are you? I see that you're there. How's things, man?
Absolutely brimming with excitement and positivity, mate. How are you guys?
Brimming. I like that. I'm sure that you're referring to the first thing that I was going to bring up, which that excitement must have something to do with. We're a mere 10 days away now from much anticipated Unpacked. Have you guys managed to catch the teaser? Have you seen that?
I have.
It looks shiny. It looks teasy. It looks deluxe. Yeah, it's got me. It's got me going. How about you, Miles?
I do like it, but what happens is because we are on the other side of the Samsung fence, so we may or may not know a few things. When I see these teasers, I'm like, I wish I could tell what these teasers look like without knowing any information at all.
I know that it's exciting times. I always wait for when that kind of first key visual or that first kind of snippet. I'm not going to use the term sizzle reel by any means, but when that first comes out, then it gives you a feel for kind of like what may be coming, and that's when all the gossip starts. That's when all the leaks start online. And as Miles alluded to, I sometimes find it fun to see how wrong a lot of the leaks are that are coming out, and just can't wait to kind of like go to the masses with some good messaging on what the truth is. But I noticed that the Unpack's happening. That's normally, I think anyone who's followed the trends over the years with Samsung, we always look forward to the possibility of having these events on twice a year. Is this a sign that things are getting back into normal for you guys? What do you think? I know it's not going to be a face-to-face kind of Unpacked as of yesterday, but we've got an Unpacked. Yeah, what do you think? Is this a sign that things are getting back to normal now?
I wouldn't say normal. I wouldn't say it's a sign of things going back to normal, because like you said, it's not a traditional Unpacked like we are used to seeing over the past few years. What it is showing Samsung finding a way to hurdle certain obstacles that are thrown in the path to make sure we can still keep doing what Samsung do.
Yeah. I think that you've hit the nail on the head. It's like finding a way, isn't it? Which I know we always talk about, like innovation, and we're the first. In all honesty, that's one of the things that makes us proud to work for Samsung, isn't it? Is there's always a way. Sometimes it's not pretty when you're in the midst of it all and so busy and stuff, but it is something to be proud of. We always get to the finish line, I guess. What are you expecting, Rich? From let me just try and do the math here. I think like 10 years or so you've been working with Samsung now, so you've seen your fair
Not quite,
few
mate. Nearly.
Almost, right?
Here's one to put in the dates for everyone. If anyone wants to send me flowers or chocolate, that is fine. On Valentine's Day 2021 will be my 10th anniversary with the company. So,
a decade.
Exactly, yeah, a decade. So I started when I was 11, and I'll be 21, which is amazing. You know what? I need to throw in, right? I genuinely never get tired of these announcements, right? These teasers and these new products, because, they come more frequently than they used to. You probably remember back in the day, we'd have one product come out each year, then like big major product. Then we launched the Note range. And we launched big end tablets. We launched our headphones. We started doing loads of different stuff. So I think looking back, I got most excited when, do you remember the Note 1 when that was announced, 2011?
See, I don't know. I wasn't around for the original Note, but go on.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest things. And when I realised that we'd got another thing to be excited about, it was like just more Christmases. It wasn't like diluting the message. It was just like more Christmases. Yeah. Every single year. So I don't know about you guys, but I still get stoked and pumped for these things.
Yeah, what I love as well is that you're seeing, like, if we follow trends, right? We have no idea what's coming out and stuff. So, but if we follow the trends, we've been releasing more or announcing more than one product now as well, and like little nods to what we're working on in the future, which I think is really exciting as well. You know, always Samsung probably the top of innovation and moving forward. So we're getting like more than one product unveiled, which is always exciting. And then the messaging about how all of these products work together and enhance our lives is great as well. So the unpacks, I do get excited for them. As no matter how many we work alongside, go to in some cases, and things work at in some cases, I still find them a little bit of a little bit of Christmas time, and I use them as milestones as well, because we always start the conversations of, do you remember this unpacked? Do you remember that unpacked? And they're always good. So guys, the date for your diary, of course, is the 5th of August, and stay tuned on Backstage, because we're gonna be doing a few things exciting as well around the unpacked kind of moments, so that we'll get you guys involved, and we'll be able to enjoy it all together, I think. But yeah, what other events would you say you get excited about throughout the calendar year, you guys? What are your milestones? If I were to ask you both your top 3, so what are your milestone events? Could be sport, music, whatever it is. You tell me.
Right.
Miles?
I'll start. Top 3. Most recently is probably the PS5 announcement. That's the most recent thing I can think of that I was... Shut up, Rich. I'm wearing black and green, Rich.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. Subliminal messaging.
Yeah, it would be... Actually, no, but the PS5 announcement was most recently. But the 2 biggest ones... I don't know what was bigger for me. Either waiting for Infinity War or waiting for Endgame. Mm-hmm. Or waiting for the Deathly Hallows Part 2 film. Harry Potter, for those that are looking around thinking, I don't know what Deathly Hallows is.
What throughout the year, for example, for me, I know in July there's always a huge UFC event, so I always look forward to that in July. I'm getting more kind of privy to, like, obviously mess up this year, but like Glastonbury is a big thing that marks the year. Sometimes like even WrestleMania, I know, is always around March time, around our birthdays, Miles.
Okay.
So what breaks up the year for you as far as events go?
For the years for events, there's only one event I care about that happens every year, and this is the first time that it has stopped. It's an event that I think for the past 2 or 3 years I have bumped into DT somewhere on a street, outside a train station. I've seen Kadesh mixing a couple tunes on the decks. It has to be Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah,
of course you do. Right? Of course you do. That's the only thing I look forward to every year.
Well, hopefully it's back to normal next year. And what about yourself, Rich? What are your kind of like calendar events?
Goes without saying, our announcements. So it goes absolutely Samsung stuff. So that's just a given, right? Absolutely, they're the highlights of my working and personal year. But mine are a bit looser. So I normally look forward to download, but ain't happening. Mm-hmm. It tends to be based around movies, music, and games. So I look forward to... I've ordered Biffy Clyro's Celebration of Endings, which is Biffy Clyro's new luxury pack, which has got CD and vinyl in it. So some bands, Avatar, Testament, the various bands will release stuff pretty much annually. So that's an annual excitement for me. And I'll always buy the digipack, and I'll buy the vinyl if I can. Games, some games like Call of Duty, it's an annual event. So boom, boom, boom. And entertainment, I look forward to my family-sized pizza that I eat every Friday night at the moment. So yeah, they're the main things.
Good for you. So if you thinking about this Unpacked coming around, the excitement that comes with it, part of that excitement, as false as it is sometimes seeing the rumour mill start and people who think they've got leaks and they end up being so far from the truth. It's hilarious. But as all of that comes closer to the date, are you ones to kind of like queue up for products? Are you ones to kind of stay in line at the midnight ready for that release, whether it's a bit of new technology that people queue up for, if it's a set of trainers that Jordans are always very popular? What's your two's mentality on that?
Can I jump in with one thing?
Go on, Rich, you go
The
first.
first thing I ever queued up for, and one of the only things I ever queued up for. Now, this is going old school, right? It was in, I think it might have actually been Warsaw, a game store. I think it was in Warsaw.
Yeah.
I had to drive there, and they had like a whatever it was, like a super early. It wasn't midnight opening back then. They didn't do that. It was like 6 a.m. or something. It was on the Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive. It was Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition with the 6-button fighting pad as a pack, and it was 60 quid, and that was back in God knows when. So that was one of the few times I've ever queued up.
You queued up though. You have queued up. Miles, have you ever queued up for the release of something?
I'm trying to think. I don't think
The release of your baby?
I was. You know what? Did I queue up? Yeah. The only thing I queued up for would be the last 4 or 5 Marvel movies. I have literally set my alarms for 11:45, got an Uber somewhere, and then queued up to watch the film. Fun fact for all of our elites watching, at last year's Elite Fest that we did, our elite event that we did last year, I actually finished work, went back to my hotel in London, fell asleep for a few hours, and then set an alarm for 11:45 just so I could make sure that I saw Captain Marvel's midnight release.
That was a disappointment.
Yeah. So you have got that in you then for the things that you like. Then you both will queue up for. And I think what a big change is, especially in our domain now, is the fact that consumers can put in that pre-order and kind of have it guaranteed for them. So the queuing up. A lot of the time previously, I don't know whether we've anything like this time around, but actually getting pre-order allows you to get kind of like a gift with purchase as well, which I think historically have always been fantastic, you know. So for those kind of early adopters, the ones that want some really top-edge technology in their pockets on the day of release, and those bragging rights, whether it's down the pub or, you know, that great quality of technology, they've got those gift with purchases as well, which I think is pretty much a no-brainer, and you don't need to bear the elements at midnight, you know, queuing up at a shop or, you know, being the first one 9 a.m. for when the shutters open. You can have that guaranteed purchase. So here's hoping, right? We never know, but here's hoping. But there is always a reason to be the first.
You
know
say
what,
that,
Sean?
Sean.
Sorry, carry on, Miles.
I was going to say, there is a rush to be the first, but not for everything. As a lot of people recently learned, anyone out there who brought the WWE 2K20 game, all the people that spent all that money on pre-orders, the people that got it on their first day, it was riddled with glitches. And the game's been out nearly a year now, and it is still riddled with glitches to the point where I think at the start of the pandemic, they actually cut the prices of a brand new game down to like £15 in some places, which I thought was... So I think there's a first in line, and then there's a probably not. So like... when we first start being able to go to Virgin Atlantic and travel to the moon, am I going to be the first person on there? Probably not. Nothing to do with finances. I'm just probably not. If these self-driving Ubers ever make it to good old sunny Birmingham, am I going to be calling a driverless Uber? Probably not. Everyone in LA, fine. If for some reason Samsung need me to move to LA or New York, and Elon Musk is working on this nice little, is it a hyper tunnel, a hyperspeed tunnel?
Yeah, it's boring.
Whatever he's building. Am I going to be the first person on that to make sure I can get from LA to New York in 20 minutes? Probably not. I'll give it a year. Give it a year or two.
So maybe not one of the early adopters, but maybe one of the early majority, the second wave kind of that comes through. Once everyone's done the initial testing, right? That's when you come forward and make your purchases, Miles. Is that right?
I'm the third wave. The first wave are all the test dummies. The second wave's there to make sure they fixed all the problems, and then I'll be there in the third wave, knowing the problems are fixed, then it's all good to go.
Cool. What about yourself, Rich?
Well, I was just going to ask you guys if you ever put money into a Kickstarter, because what you were saying before, Sean, about sometimes you will pre-order something, and as a kind of a reward for your loyalty, you will get a little extra something, which is really nice. So have you ever looked at a Kickstarter and gone, you know what, it's vapor, right? It doesn't exist yet, but I trust in it. And actually, if you trust in it and say, I don't know, let's say Miles launches a new range of chakra stones called Milestones, because you mentioned that earlier on. So Miles comes on, QVC, whatever, other shopping channels are available, and says, if you pre-order now, put your money in, then you will get a free extra pair of stones, purple ones, for example. Have you been tempted to do something like that?
So yes is the answer with tempted. Have I actually ever done it? No, but I've seen a few of them, and I've never kind of understood the process fully until one of our friends, Lee, he had I remember Lee and I went to Vegas together, and he had this neck rest for when he's on the plane that was basically the next level of these rests. It just looked phenomenal. And he explained to me that it was a Kickstarter, they're worth $60 or something, but he put in $15, $20, and then 9 months later it turned up on his doorstep. And I don't know whether it was actually that product or just the idea of because I don't buy these mystery boxes offline by any chance, but I like the idea of kind of seeing something that I think, oh, I would like that if it becomes a product, and putting some money in and see whether it ever turns up on my doorstep.
That is a good one. I have thought about doing them because, when you're on Facebook or Instagram and you see those memes where it's 14 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg asked 9 of his friends to help him with Facebook. 8 said no, only 1 joined him. 10 years later, they are both billionaires. I'm like, ooh, maybe I could find the next Mark Zuckerberg, but then I don't think I have the wherewithal in me to look at a product and think, that's the next one.
Though I have been purchasing more often off Instagram ads and stuff for obscure products, and I've got a collection of those now in my apartment. I've got the thing that rests off your door, the top of your door that you rest your neck on, and it's supposed to make your neck feel real good. I've got the water flossers, the electrical water flossers for your teeth. That explains it. Yeah, I've got. Oh, there's a posture corrector. Is that right, Miles? Yeah,
I saw this on an advert on Instagram.
So, yeah, I have been buying a few. Probably not brand new products, but definitely stuff that people wouldn't. I've got one of those. Yeah. Oh, that's old school. The electrical massager. Yeah.
Yes, I saw someone having a whale of a time on Instagram.
So we are inquisitive then. We are inquisitive guys. So maybe we've answered our questions in ourselves, right? That we do buy, and I think that's one of those things that when we watch us guys, we're glued to the screen when Unpacked happens. I think we are really lucky. We know that we get to review a few products very early doors, but then we're always kind of, when it comes to the tech, I asked you that question. It was a loaded question because I know both of you do make those purchases of Samsung products as soon as you can when they're announced, because you may not realize it, but I think you guys part with more money on the Samsung products than what you realize, because you just love to have the latest in tech, no matter how new your old product is. But there as well, for me, is another very valid point, because we shouldn't ever get fooled by the fact that the newer products are the only ones that we should consider as purchase options. Mm-hmm. I was just weighing it up recently. When we look at what the portfolio of products that we've released over the last year, and even if we go back 12 months ago, still great technology that you buy purchasing if you go to a store right now and get it. And how I think originally, Rich, when you were mentioning some of those unpacks that you've been part of and those products like the original Note, the step up in what you're getting is always huge, right? But I think what happened was the original Note, after 12 months of usage, you were ready for the next upgrade, and I think you're always ready for the next upgrade. But the products that are online, for example, the S20, I think that's what I'm getting at right now. The S20 is a phenomenal product, right? And is going to be for some time yet, and should always be a kind of purchase option for anyone. And what are your thoughts on that, Rich?
I think you're right. I just couldn't stop thinking when you were talking then about. I remember like back in the day, you would get. I'm the youngest of 3 kids, right?
Right.
And my hand-me-downs when I was a kid would be a pair of shoes or a bike, and it'd be my sister's, then my brother's, then mine. So it'd probably be like Marcy's pink bike with a basket on it. Nowadays, it's passing down those phones. And like my brother's got 3 kids, and he will pass down the Samsung phones. Other brands are available. And he gets to a point where the youngest kid's like really chuffed with his phone, and he's thinking, "Oh, that phone's like 2, 3 years old now." But his daughter is like absolutely stoked because it's still got a great camera, great screen, great battery, updated software. Sometimes it's best to be at the queue on day one. Sometimes it's quite astute to kind of, for some customers, to wait a little bit of time and get fantastic tech just by waiting that little bit. I think there's definitely a market for that.
Yeah, well, and that's what, again, it goes back to my old like mantra around that's why I'm really happy of the range that we have as well, because you can be someone that wants the latest and the greatest, and that's when, generally speaking, you look at your S range and you look at your Note range, and sometimes you want the great tech that's affordable. And we a few, not all of the elements of our flagship range are present, but you're getting a fantastic device at an unbelievable price point. And it goes, and again, it'll go and last you for a long amount of time, and it all brings things together. A lot of these products are still all the connectivity with whether it's a wearable, whether it's an audio kind of device, whether it's your Icon X, your Buds Plus. There's always something. The capabilities of attaching those products and making your own little ecosystem is always available, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very good point.
Yeah. What would you say is the big things that we are thinking more to Rich when we look at Unpacked now? What would you like to see? What do you think is the what have we done so far? What have we done so far, Rich? Right, we've been making some really strong movements. Sort of things such as like that on our S20, that great refresh rate, the great camera, and the great battery and stuff. And these sometimes are subtle, but what do you think what are we looking forward to see next?
Oh, mate,
what's
honestly,
the need?
Well, you know what? I said this a while ago. We got to a stage a couple of years ago where screens got so good, cameras got so good, batteries got so good, S Pen's got so good, that I think people have got. I think every year the hype gets built up and people have unrealistic expectations. It's a bit like those dating websites you've been on, Sean. You build yourself up, you think it's going to be this perfect match, and sometimes it's different to what you expected. So people are probably expecting a phone that's self-driving and transparent and folds up into a tiny ball and folds out into a 5-foot canvas. So I think people get a little bit ahead of themselves. What I want is, I want genuinely Samsung to take what we've done before that's been good and tweak what could have been improved and just give us the best possible version of what's available right now that's reliable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I'm on the same page as you, man. Yeah, 100%. There's so much to be said for just improving what we've started with, and that doesn't mean that what we've got is bad. It's more of sometimes people overlook these fine tweaks that have been made. But yeah, it'll be exciting times, won't it? Unpacked August 5th. You guys can join us here and become part of the show as well. We're going to be doing lots of things Unpacked-wise. We're going to have a pre-kickoff show. We're going to enjoy watching the Unpacked together as a community. You're going to be able to give us your feedback straight away. Let us know what you think of the products that are being unpacked, and we'll be doing exactly the same. We can't wait to see any improvements, any new devices. We don't know what's going to be coming, but we are hella excited about it. Would you say that's right, Miles?
It is right, but Sean, I literally went off into one of my little Miles think bubbles then when you was talking to Rich about what would you like to see to come back. And you know how in fashion, things from they come into fashion, they disappear, and then 10, 15 later they reappear and they're all sorts of fashion again. Yeah. Could you see the the re-emergence of the removable battery.
Yes.
I'm not a designer, so I don't know how. I'm thinking like you click a button and it drops out, and then you can slot a new one in there, so you don't actually have the removable back. It's still one unit. But I'm literally trying to think of all the things that we had previously. Could they come infrared? Don't know what they would use it for, but could infrared come back? I don't think it would, because I feel like I feel like things like the internet can handle what infrared did. But I miss getting my S6 out and turning off a TV. That was a great party trick.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I remember.
You remember? And it didn't have to be a Samsung TV.
It wasn't just
it's literally just a TV. You just bloop, 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 connect, and then you'd be like, press this button.
Just sending like, remember when infrared was a sharing solution?
At school, put your phones, the top of your Sony Ericssons together, and then put your school blazer or jumper on top, so the teacher knew you didn't have your phone out.
Just to get one song across your mates. Wow, you've taken me back, guys. What do you think? What do you think could come back that we had on devices where we've made improvements and you miss and you would love to see a return of? Let us know that straight away in the comments below, guys. That's interesting. Are you going to be joining us on Unpacked Day, 5th of August? We're going to be throwing a party, guys. More information to come as to where we'll be and when we'll be there and what we'll be doing. Miles, final words over to you as always, my man.
Oh, final words. Live long and prosper. There's literally a Star Trek advert popped up on my screen, so I thought, why not go with that? But final message, guys. As Sean has already said, unpacked. 10 days. We will be there. Hopefully you guys will be there to see what it is, what wonderfulness that Samsung is ready to show us and share with the world. Can't wait. However,
exciting.
It's, you know what, the last message, Sean, the excitement that I'm feeling, imagine the Boxing Day rush where you're about to go shopping and you're at the front of the queue. Like, it's exciting about what's about to come in there, but the work that we are putting in, I feel like I'm going to get trampled.
And we'll leave you with that one as we all head back now to preparation of a busy few weeks ahead. But yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Let us know what parts of tech you would like to see return. Let us know what you think may be coming at Unpacked, because I love to read a good rumor that's completely far removed from the truth. We'll see you all there, 10 days time and counting. And thank you all for joining as usual. Bye, everyone.